being the single person who stands out, or one of the single people who stands out. My dad used to say that a lot of times they're the only chocolate chip in the cookie here. My name is Nalah Loman. I am 20 years old. I use she, her pronouns, and I guess my hometown is Arroyo Grande. Grew up there for a good portion of my life. I went to high school there, and I now live in SLO, and I'm an activist and a student. Activism for me is, it's about putting yourself out there for the community, for a specific community if there is one, and for me it's for people of color. In my activism, I center anyone whose voice has yet to be heard and is trying to give a message. So whether that is the disabled community, whether that is a Black or brown indigenous community, whether it is LGBTQ plus community, anyone whose voice needs to be upraised and heard is who I center in my activism. I think for me, a sense of belonging is something I've just found in the community of activists that I'm in now. So people who can relate, and even if they can't relate, are accepting of what you bring to the table. So especially what we're doing here in San Luis Obispo, there's not a large Black community, so being able to be around other people who have had a similar struggle or similar lifestyle, and just can relate to you, it's comforting. I have always just loved Angela Davis, and even though her work is far from finished and she is still kicking, still alive and fighting, I think it would be one of my goals to be fighting alongside her in person, hopefully. Being someone now in 2021 in the middle of a pandemic and a Black Lives Matter movement, and hearing her words which are still so relevant to me, that's who I look up to. Being the single person who stands out, or one of the single people who stands out. My dad used to say that a lot of times they're the only chocolate chip in the cookie here. Comparing the experience here to the experience where I came from, which was a low income place of poverty and crime, the struggle isn't so much that you're facing the battles that Black people face in the streets, but facing the mental battles and emotional battles of knowing you don't fit in somewhere, and that you have to, or it seems like you have to uphold some reputation to belong somewhere. So for me, that's been the challenge. I could ask the people of SLO to take one action I think would be super powerful, and it would be for every single person in SLO to be out in the streets with whatever message it is, whether it's to stop AAPI hate, whether it's to uplift and hear Black voices, whether it is to stop the San Marcos foothills from being bought and sold. It's to get in the streets and use your voice, especially if you're a white person. And at the same time, if I could, have everybody calling into city council meetings.
Is this comfortable?
Now.
Now?
Okay.
You got it?